obviously is really, really important why we're here today. We're here to honor the first class of Great Plains Pop Warner Scholars in Omaha, Nebraska. So these are gentlemen, these are young men that have worked really hard, not just on the football field this year, but they also have been working hard in their academics. And Great Plains Pop Warner is here today to recognize that hard work, to say thank you to our young people, to our leaders of the future, and to say thank you to you as parents for doing the things that are necessary to get the kids to the next level. Let me start with my name. My name is Keith Harris, and I am the Great Plains Pop Warner Little Scholars Chairman. As I said, thank you very much for coming in today. Just a little bit of history. Great Plains Pop Warner has been operating and making connections with kids since 1929 in the United States. They are now currently in at least 43 states, and they touch over 400,000 kids every year. To be a Pop Warner Scholar, what that means, if you're being recognized today, and if you're being recognized regionally, that means that you are in the upper echelon, the top ranks of scholars that are playing Pop Warner football. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, because each and every one of our scholars has not just been recognized. So our scholars that made either first team or second team here in Nebraska were not only recognized for their academic achievements here in Nebraska, but each and every one of them was also recognized by our regional organization, Mid-America Region, and everybody should have gotten letters on that. So I think that deserves a big round of applause. So today's structure, our structure is a little bit different than a lot of banquet programs, because what we were thinking about when we structured the program for today and this whole banquet, we were thinking about what would the kids like. And as you know, kids like to move it forward, and they like to get to eat and playing as quickly as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the program forward. We're going to do everything. We're going to hear from our wonderful speaker today, and we're going to give our plaques and awards away, and we're going to eat at the end of the program. And that way the kids, because everybody that is awarded today will also be receiving a ticket for game play. So once we're done with the program here in this room, you'll be free to go. You'll be free to get something to eat and enjoy the rest of your day. So a couple things, order of business. I want to make sure that everybody knows, if you haven't been here at Pizza Machine before, the restrooms are just right out the hallway here and to the left. There's restrooms right down at the bottom. If for any reason, I mean, we don't plan emergencies, but that's what makes them emergencies. We don't plan for them. But if for any reason that there's an emergency situation, myself and Mark Opheim, our president, will help usher people out of the room. But as you see, there's two exits. This one's blocked, but there's an exit there. There's two exits at the front, and there's exits in the building to either corner of the building, either at the front or at the back side. There's fire extinguishers marked on the walls, but you know, if something of that nature happens, get with me and Mark and get out of the building as quickly as possible, as safely as possible. Okay. No further ado, I will call our Great Plains Pop Warner President, Mark Opheim, to the stand.
Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
This is nice. It's something that Great Plains hasn't been real good at. I've been president. This will be my third season that I've been president of Great Plains, and let me tell you how that happened. A little bit about the scholar program here. 3 years ago, I went to the Chicago meeting for regionals because our president at the time couldn't make it. When I got back, he said, "We need to go to lunch." Went to lunch. He says, "I'm moving to Vegas." He said, "So guess what you get to inherit?" So I inherited it, and at that time, I had just gotten back from Chicago and saw hundreds of kids walk up and get recognized for their scholastic achievements. From every place across the Mid-America section except Omaha. Nobody was recognized. So I came back and I started asking the associations like Trailblazers why. We just don't do that, I was told. It's football. It's cheer. So I said, it's football and cheer. How many organizations have cheer? 2. How many kids, I started looking at report cards, I said, do you know how many kids should have been recognized for their scholastic achievements, which is just as important as their sports achievements, and we missed it. So we tried again to get the associations to submit everything. I went last year with Lori, our vice president, and we went to Chicago again, and I said, you know what, we still didn't get any kids. Suddenly, out of the corner, comes the scholastic person in charge of regional for Pop Warner, and he said, Mark, I'd like you to meet Keith Harris. He's a father of your only scholastic person ever to be submitted from Great Plains Pop Warner, and his son's here being honored. So in reality, last year was the first year Pop Warner had somebody get recognized at the regional level for scholastic, and then was recognized also and made the national, the All-American team for scholastics. Christian, could you please stand? Let's give him a hand. That's the man who really started this. Because his parents decided they saw the scholastic info online. They filled out the paperwork. Their association didn't take it. They turned it in themselves. I talked to Keith at that time in Chicago. I said, we need to talk when we get back, because we need to jumpstart this a little bit. You can see we went from 1, we went to 9 kids this year. 1. And all of you need to thank the Trailblazers Association, because that's the only association represented here. So nice job, guys. Very good job. There are 9 associations in Great Plains Pop Warner, including as far away as all of you know, Grand Island. Grand Island has a stack of about an inch thick. All but 12 of their kids qualified for scholars. They didn't mail the material. What a simple thing, but you forget to do. That's an 800% increase we had from last year to this year. Christian's leading us, and Christian made it again this year. If we have an 800% increase next year, that means almost everybody that we have, every association will be represented, and you'll be in a banquet room with almost 200 or 300 people. That's where we need to be, because it's not just about playing football. Pop Warner, as he said, is known for a lot of things. The largest youth football organization in the world. It started in 1929, came to Omaha in 1940, and then went away because they wanted to have stripers, heavier kids. A child my size should not play against a child that's 70 pounds. Okay? I understand they'll all play against each other in high school. Trust me, there are growth spurts. Okay? And I speak as a parent of experience. I have no kids in Pop Warner. I have a grandbaby who wants to cheer next year really bad. But I'm here for kids, so that what happened to my son doesn't happen to any of yours. It's very hard to watch your son playing in a football game being hit by somebody who's 3 times his size in a perfectly legal and perfect tackle on open field. But yet the size difference was so great, my son flipped up end over end, hit with his head straight down like a nail going into the ground, fell face down on the turf, his body twitched 3 times. That was it. He woke up in the hospital. He now has still to this day, thank goodness he made it, he has to this day what's called a syrinx on his spine, which at any moment, or it could be there the rest of his life with no problems, could decide it wants to attach to that spinal cord. If it does, he will be paralyzed from the neck down. That was a awakening. And that's when I heard about Pop Warner. The following season was coming to town. My son can't play football anymore. He plays baseball. Scares the dickens out of us because he decided to be a catcher. Oh, Lord. But all of this points to why Pop Warner has a place in the community of football. Okay, you've all heard all the uproar about helmet safety and concussions. That's why Pop Warner worked with the NFL to help USA Football develop. And now Pop Warner is requiring that coaches take the Heads Up football training course. We're actually speaking right now to USA Football about educating the parents about Heads Up football. Not just the players, because you're the moms and dads who see it also. You may notice something different about your son or your daughter who's playing football that can make a big difference in that child's development. So, we all know 70% of NFL players started in Pop Warner. That's pretty neat. What's the other common thread a lot of NFL players have? They've all graduated college. I think there's 2% that didn't.